Hi, everybody, and welcome into Lee Smelser Court at the Cougar Cage as we get ready for the Cougar Holiday Classic Championship game between the Mount San Antonio College Mounties and the College of the Canyons Cougars here from College of the Canyons. These two teams both won their games yesterday, obviously, since they are here in the final here today. Both with decent wins in tight games. College of the Canyons an 83-80 winner for their 6th win of the season. On the other side for Mount San Antonio College, a 91-85 win over Orange Coast College to get themselves into the finals.
Number 13, 6'9" freshman forward, Michael Ejimeta.
As it was a tight game on both accounts for the Cougars. Jonah Elfire added another double-double to his resume with 23 points and 17 rebounds, while Jacob Gonzalez, Joshua Barnett, Roz Orbach, and Deshaun Harold all had double figures. As the Cougars out-rebounded LA Traitech 49-27 in the win. On the other side for Mount San Antonio, they shot an impressive 54.9% from the floor and out-rebounded the Pirates 42-28. Nick Hopkins continued his dominant season, leading the Mounties with 27 points and 7 rebounds, while C.J. Fisher had 13, Jeremiah Smith added 12, and Ernest Love had 15 points on 3 of 6 shooting from 3 in the victory for Michael Finnison's squad in his third year as the head coach of Mount San Antonio College. On the other side, Howard Fisher in his 24th year for COC, trying to get back-to-back Cougar Holiday Classic championships for the Cougars, as they won last year, defeating Mount Sac and Orange Coast in their 2 games during the Cougar Holiday Classic. For College of the Canyons, they'll be in their yellow uniforms moving to our left in the first half. Orange Coast will be in, Orange Coast. Mount Sac will be in gray, moving to our right here in the first half. It'll be Elfara to jump against Michael Ejimeta. Ejimeta, who's 6'9", going to take the tip, and Mount Sac will start on offense. Elijah Cirillo, Nick Hopkins, Micah Gardner, Michael Ejimeta, and C.J. Fisher, the starters for the Mounties. As Ejimeta catches and drops the ball off towards Fisher, who puts up an 18-footer that's no good. Rebound pulled down by Jonah Elfara, who's one of the state leaders in rebounds this year. As the Cougars will go to work on offense for the first time today. They send out Jacob Gonzalez, JT Barnett, Roz Orbach, Logan Gomari, and of course Elfara, who's averaging 11.4 rebounds per game, which is 3rd best in the state of California, already with 1 here today. Here's Gomari, bounce pass, Barnett, step back 3 with 5 to shoot, no good. Elfara able to pull down his 2nd board. Got it inside to Barnett, but he missed on an altered shot, and Hopkins back the other way. Cirillo, 6 points last night. Really does a good job handling the ball for Mount San Antonio as he gets it to Fisher in the corner, no good. And once again, guess who? Jonah Elfara with already his 3rd rebound of the ballgame. Here's Barnett off the Elfara screen, driving, puts it off the window with the right hand as he created space. And Barnett has his first bucket of the day. Barnett leading the team with 15.6 points per game, shooting 40% from 3 on the year. It's the first bucket of the day, and then an offensive foul, I believe, called against Ejimeta. Called a block on Michael Ejimeta, the freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, Bella Vista Prep High School. So Canyons will go back to work here. Cirillo guarding Gonzalez the full 94 feet of the floor. Gonzalez had his second best night of the season last night with 12 points. Here's Barnett. Tried to get it over to Gonzalez, poked away by Cirillo. Mount Sac has been a really good defensive team this year. The Mounties, when you look at the numbers this season, defensive efficiency of .852, which is second best in the state, meaning they get a lot of stops. They hold opponents to just 36% from the floor, 27% from three, which is third and fifth. So they've been a very good defensive team in that regards. They allow 69 points per game, which is 29th in California. Just shows you how good some of the other defenses are at limiting points. But really, when you look at the metrics, Mount Sac has been so very good defensively. Fisher gets the first bucket of the day. As C.J. Fisher able to back down Orbach on a drive, and we're even at 2-all. Fisher 13 points, 9 rebounds against OCC in 21 minutes last night. Here's Gomari, fouled on the floor, called against Micah Gardner. Far off the inbound against Edgemeta. Gonna be tough work for Elfire today with Edgemeta, the 6'9" forward. Elfara, who's a big body, but it's just 6'5", as that one had to play a turnover on Cirillo. Canyons defensively this year has not been great. 74 points a game allowed, 47th. Their defensive efficiency at 997, which is 47th. They're pretty much middle of the pack on all their efficiency numbers. Sitting at 6-6 right now in the year. Elfara, a jumper over the top of Edgemeta that doesn't fall. Remember, Mount Sac 10-1 so far the year, ranked 14th in the 3C2A. Their non-conference RPI is 635, which is 5th in the state right now. So they've done a good job against non-conference opponents, especially ranked opponents. Foul on the floor, called likely against Barnett. And that's who it will go against. For the Mounties this year, they beat number 10 Citrus. They beat number 22 Santiago Canyon. Beat number 29 Irvine. Their only lost to a top 25 opponent against Chaffey College. 93-84 on the road against Chaffey. That we saw here that beat the Cougars. Sloppy from Mount Sac as Edgemeta couldn't do much with it. They get it inside Hopkins. Found his way to the rack but didn't hit the rim, and it's a shot clock violation. Good defense that time by the Cougars. Picking it up defensively and trying to make it tough on Mount Sac, and they get a shot clock violation. Canyons without Mason Savory today. That's a little bit of a loss for COC. Savory at 6'6", the largest Cougar on the roster. Gonzalez gets one on the inside, picking up where he left off last night. Mounties get one off the other side by C.J. Fisher. He's got 4 here early on. Fisher, a guy that averages just 8.5 in 23.5 minutes. Foul goes against Cirillo. First foul on Cirillo. Substitutions for the first time today for the Mounties is Gardner, Fisher, and Cirillo all off. That brings in Jeremiah Smith, John McCullough, and Ernest Love onto the floor. Barnett, straightaway 3. Plenty of time for Barnett. You leave him that open, he's gonna knock him down more often than not. 40% three-point shooter has the Cougars out in front, 7-4. Barnett already with 5 in the first 4.5 minutes. Here's Love with the basketball up top to Hopkins, who's been quiet so far. Hopkins averages 22.3 points per game, which is 6th most in California. Edgemeta, a little turnaround hook that doesn't fall. Barnett with some good hustle, able to save it. And Gomari back the other way. Good defense again by the Cougars. Here's Orbach for 3, missed it the whole way. matter of time until Hopkins gets going, so Canyons would like to stretch what they can when they can. McCullough. Good body control that time by John McCullough, the freshman point guard out of Hesperia. Has his first bucket of the day. Only had 3 last night against Orange Coast with 6 rebounds in 22 minutes. Turnover fest a little bit last night between the Mounties and the Pirates. It was also a foul fest, which we expect to be really the same here today between these two teams, which are 2 most penalized teams in the state of California and 2 of the teams that draw the most penalties against in the state of California. As Gomari has his first bucket. When you look for Canyons this year, 18.7 fouls per game. That's 25th most in California, but they draw 22.3, which is the 3rd most in the state. On the other side, for Mount San Antonio, when we talk about the fouls, they average 21.2 as Gonzalez with another one and the foul. He'll go to the line. Gonzalez already with 4 in the ball game. And the Cougars with an 11-6 lead, and we'll see Izenwa and Harold into the game. Take over for Orbach and Gomari. We were talking about the fouls, already 4 on Mount Sac. They fouled 21.2% of their 21.2 times per game, which is 4th in the 3C2A. But they draw 23.6, which is the most in the state. So, I mean, we expect a lot of fouls really in this one when you look at the numbers. And so far, holding true with 5. Gonzalez, who's a 71% foul shooter, misses on the 3-point try. So the lead will stay at 5. 11-6 in favor of Canyons. 13:50 to go. Love will bounce it into Hopkins around Izenwa. Got it off the rim, but didn't get it to fall. Gonzalez then couldn't keep it in play, and it'll stay with Mount Sac. It's going to be a fun one on the glass today with Alfara and Hopkins in there. Hopkins, 10.7 rebounds per game, 5th most in California per game. He's got 245 rebounds so far, or excuse me, 245 points. He's got 46 offensive rebounds and 72 defensive boards, which are 13th and 30 and 41st. Certainly a good rebounder in his own right. Offensive foul called against McCullough, drawn by Barnett. It's the 2nd foul on McCullough in short order. As Alfara will bring it back in. We talked about the rebounding from Hopkins. Alfara over 100 defensive boards this year, 137 coming into the game now, as he's already got 3 on the day. So 140 total rebounds for him this season. He tried to dish it inside to Izenwa, but it's broken up, taken by Jeremiah Smith. Smith dribbling ahead, kicks it over McCullough, tries to drive baseline on Jeremiah Walker fresh into the game. Nice bounce pass by McCullough, finds Hopkins for his first bucket of the day. Makes it 11-8. Walker with McCullough guarding him. Calling out plays, tried to send it over to Harold, had it tipped out of play. Cirillo to take over for McCullough with 2 fouls. Orbach at the table, taking over for Alfara here. Walker now with the basketball, trying to slip Cirillo. Draws a foul. Second foul on Cirillo, so already 2 on McCullough, 2 on Cirillo. 1 each on Gardner and Edgemeta. Already 6 fouls on Mount Sac. Next will put the Cougars in the bonus. There's Walker, Orbach. Back to Barnett. Barnett thought about a 3, now will step back into one, and he knocked it down over the top of CJ Fisher. Second 3 for Joshua Barnett. He's got 8, and Canyons back out in front 14-8. Cirillo will dump it off to Hopkins, guarded by Orbach out beyond the 3-point line. He'll leave it for Love. Harold staying with him. Deshaun Harold has earned his minutes, a guy that redshirted his freshman year, didn't play at all last year, as Hopkins knocks down a 20-footer to get it back to a 4-point lead. And Harold's really started to contribute, as we were talking about him just a few seconds ago. 11 points last night, a career and season high. Had 6 rebounds in 22 minutes against Trade Tech. Barnett, heat check, no. Back the other way comes Mount Sac. Smith had it stolen by Walker. 3-on-2 for Canyons if they want it. Walker just gonna try and drive, draws the foul. It's a block on, if it's Cirillo, it's his third. That's the third on Elijah Cirillo. They'll bring McCullough back in. It'll send Jeremiah Walker to the line. Walker shooting 2, a 70% foul shooter on the year. Walker makes the first. McCullough checking in. Cirillo will be on the bench, likely for the final 11:35, and pretty far into the second half, I would imagine, as he's an important guard for Mount San Antonio College. Second is good from Walker. Lead back up to 6. Remember, women's basketball up after this. Number 5, Palomar in town to take on College of the Canyons. You join us for that one. Here's a 3 from Fisher off the near side, no. Tip rebound came out to Barnett. 3-on-2 for Canyons again. Instead, Barnett will dump it off to Walker on the far wing, and the Cougars will set up offensively. Here's Orbach trying to work against the smaller Love. Kicked it over to Harold. 3-pointer from the corner is good, and Deshaun Harold stays hot. 6 of 15, 40% from 3 coming into today. He had 3 threes last night. Harold has earned his minutes and continues to go. There's, wow, Nip Hopkins just muscled Roz Orbach down. And that forces a timeout called by College of the Canyons, a 30-second timeout with 10:49 to go in a 19-12 game. Howard Fisher wasn't happy after Hopkins was able to force down Orbach that time, and immediately looked at Jonah Alfara and said, Jonah, you've got to come help him on that.
www.clcathletics.com. Were you following CLC men's basketball on social media? Become a fan of CLC.
So the 19-12, 10:49 to go here in the first half. Canyons in the bonus. Just 1 foul on the Cougars to 7 for Mount Sac here in the first. So discrepancy on the fouls. Walker, Alfara, Orbach, Barnett, and Harold for Canyons. McCullough, Fisher, Hopkins, Love, and Smith out there for Mount Sac as Barnett. Another 3, too much on it that time as he had to get it over the top of the lengthy C.J. Fisher. Back the other way comes Ernest Love. Lost the basketball off his hip, and it's Canyons ball. It's like Micah Gardner coming back in. Didn't get to the table in time, so we'll go back to work with the lineups as they are. Barnett trying to take Fisher off the dribble. Got to the line, stopped it there, kicked it to Harold. Harold back to Barnett. Fisher at 6'7". Barnett at 6'6", hasn't taken away. Hopkins driving, draws the foul from Barnett, which will be his second. And that might send JT Barnett, to the bench. Gomari up off the bench for Canyons. Howard Fisher with some words for the officiating staff. First from Hopkins, no good. Hopkins 93 of 125 on the year coming in. The most foul shots in the state so far this year. Barnett does indeed check out with his 2 fouls. Skolmari comes back in. 7-point lead for Canyons here, 10:02 to go in the first half. Hopkins makes 1 of 2. Walker trying to slip McCullough, stops his dribble, sent it to Gomari. Gomari had Harold cutting to the basket, but held on to it. Now kicks it back to Harold, who puts a straightaway three up that's no good. Rebound battled for and goes out of play before either Orbach or Smith could get to it, as Smith just boxing out, making sure Orbach couldn't try and save it. McCullough brings it up the floor. Step back from Gardner is good on a step back three. Micah Gardner, who averages 9.7 per game, has it back to a one possession game here. Walker will put up a three of his own, air ball. Gonzalez will check back in. Isaiah Ortega coming in as well. And Gardner three, just his 16th of the year, 35% three-point shooter on the season. Foul going to be called against Gomari underneath. Will send CJ Fisher to the line. Fisher's 73% foul shooter. It's always tough when you get called for a foul when you're laying on the floor, which is exactly what happened to Gomari. Fisher makes the first. 5 points in the ball game for Fisher. Makes both, as now the Mounties come out and press. Trying to trap here as Gonzalez sends it ahead to Orbach. Orbach back to Gonzalez, as the Cougars are going a half-court set. McCullough staying right with him. Gonzalez trying to drive, backs him off, puts up a 15-footer that doesn't go in. Rebound pulled down by Gardner. As the Mounties trying to drive ahead. Smith missed as he tried to Euro step around Ortega, but got his own basketball back, or his own rebound back, and Mount Sac will go back to work. 19-18 Canyons in front. Gardner a three, no good that time. Hopkins fouled on the floor by Alfara. Zenwa to take over for Gomari. Dante Victor in for the first time today to take over for Jeremiah Smith. Canyons with essentially three of their bigs on the floor. As Alfara, Ezenwa, and Orbach all work down low. Doesn't work that time to stop Hopkins, though, as he puts it in. And Mount Sac with a 20-19 lead, their first lead of the day. Here's Alfara working against Hopkins, and he's going to get called for an offensive foul. Second foul on Alfara. Sends Gomari back to the floor, as Alfara going to go to the bench. So now you've got Alfara and Barnett, two of the leaders for Canyons, on the bench. Both with just two, or with Barnett with 8 points, Alfara with none so far. And Mount Sac with a 1-point lead. Make it a 4-point lead off a three from John McCullough on the far side. McCullough now with 5. And the Mounties starting to roll. Ortega sends it Gonzalez on a dangerous pass. Side of Zenwa, block extended on the far side, trying to work down against McCullough, and he's going to be called for a travel. Victor. Tried to drop it for Hopkins, almost lost it. Now Gardner driving, a jumper no good, but he draws the foul.
Well,
11-0 run for Mount Sac. Gardner, 70% foul shooter to the line. Jametta taking over for Hopkins here. He'll get a spell. So Gardner makes them both. 25-19, 6-point lead. Gonzalez on the far side driving. Got it to Orbach. Canyon's trying to get reset here. Mounties picking up the defense. Gonzalez wanted to drive, and an offensive foul called on a Zenoir for a block on a moving screen. Talked about the Mounties defense already today being one of the best in the state when you look at the metrics. Showing that here. Foul on Gonzalez will put Gardner to the line, as that was a bunch of quick fouls on Canyons. And now both teams in the bonus. It's the 8th foul on COC. Gonzalez out, Walker in. Canyon 7 of 19 from the floor. 3 of 9 from 3. Only 3 trips to the foul line, which has been one of the good things that Canyons has done this year, is get to the foul line. Although Mount Sac shoots the most foul shots in the state of California. Gardner makes the first of the 1-and-1. 32.7 foul shots per game. They make 22.5, which is the most per game. Both teams shooting 68% from the line. Gardner couldn't get that one to roll in. 7-point advantage here. Zenoir throws it ahead. Ortega over to Gomari. Gomari trying to drive. Got it back to Ortega. And we'll back it off a little bit. Guarded tightly by Dante Victor. Now is Zenoir, 18-footer off the window, no. Gardner the rebound. Outlet from Gardner to Fisher, who's gonna be called for a foul because they say he hooked the defender. So it's an offensive foul. Deshaun Harold to take over for Zenoir here. Walker trying to drive against Edgemeta, finds a cutting Orbach and lays it in. It's a good pass from Jeremiah Walker, as Orbach has his first bucket of the day. Fisher then able to muscle Gomari to the basket. Gomari even lost his shoe trying to get that hooked back in. It's back to a 7-point lead. Offensive foul on Gomari for a push, sold by Fisher. And Howard Fisher wants a timeout. 30-second timeout, 28-21, 5:06 to go here in the first half. It's Mount Sac. 5:06 to go here in the first half. 28-21 in favor of Mount Sac. Isaiah Baptista checking in for the first time today for College of the Canyons. This is Mount Sac basketball after the timeout. McCullough trying to drive, kicked it to the corner. Dante Victor, a three is good. Victor finds a three. Mount Sac not known as a three-point shooting team, just 27% from three this season. But they lead by 10. Here's Harold wanting to drive. Stop up, little runner is good. Deshaun Harold continues his strong play as of late. He's got 5. Hopkins with 9, Fisher with 8, Gardner with 6, McCullough with 5. Give Gardner 8 now as he knocks down a 12-footer. Barnett with 8, Harold with 5, Gonzalez with 4 for College of the Canyons. Mounties heavy pressure here. Harold, corner 3 on the way. Didn't fall, a little short. Gardner trying to drive, trying to draw something, could not. Walker able to come away with the rebound, sends it over to Ortega, now to Baptista. He'll jump into a 12-footer that's too strong. Lead will stay at 10. For the moment, 3:35. Here's McCullough. Got it to Jametta. Dumped it Dante Victor. Swings it around. They work it over to Gardner. Three-pointer, too much. Harold able to win the rebound, and then he's fouled. So Deshaun Harold will go to the line. Again, good work from Deshaun Harold, man. Guy has earned his minutes. Only averages 2.6 points per game. Only plays about 8 minutes a game, but is earning every second that he's out there with just hustle. Knocks down the occasional 3, which he'll take. So shoot foul shots here. Only 1 for 3 from the line this season. First of the 1-and-1 is good. Second is there as well for Harold. Lead back down to 8. Ejimeta has it stolen away. Deshaun Harold right on cue again. Baptista inside. Azenwa lays it off the window. Good protection by Azenwa, his first bucket of the day. Nice pass from Isaiah Baptista. And Canyons on a 4-0 run. McCullough. Send it to the far side. Here's Victor. Over the top of Baptista, knocks it down. Baptista looked like he wanted to take a 3. Had Ejimeta right on top of it. Now Harold with Victor right on him. Baptista trying to get it inside. Ejimeta just using that 6'9" reach to swat it away before Roz Orbach could get it. CJ Fisher back in for Mount Sac. 2:27 to go, 35-27. Low scoring first half. Zenwa from the foul line instead will kick it to Walker for a wing 3 that doesn't fall. Hopkins fouled under the basket. Maybe it was Love fouled. Foul goes against Zenwa. So we'll send Ernest Love back to the line. Love 71% foul shooter on the year. Misses on the first. Love had 15 points last night against OCC. 21 minutes. He's not scored so far today. Makes the second. Timeout called by Mount San Antonio College, a full timeout, 35-27, 36-27 in favor of the Mounties with 2:10 to go.
Meet Nigel Terry. In 2018, UCLA Health made him Laker for a day. Not because he beat cancer once, he beat cancer twice. He inspired us to push, to make the impossible possible. Because that's what Nigels do. And the world needs more Nigels. UCLA Health.
Intercollegiate Board Program. At the conclusion of today's tournament, College of the Canyons women's basketball makes its return to Lee's
9-point Mount Sac lead, 36-27.
The Lady Cougars slated to host Palomar College in a scheduled 5:30 p.m. tip-off in the Cougar League. That contest will also be live streamed to match via YouTube on the Cougar Sports Network.
Canyons basketball out of the timeout here. A 9-point game with 2:10 to go in the first half. Cougar Holiday Classic final. Zenwa turns it over on the inbound. Canyons couldn't even get it in play. Work off the turnover here. Miss from Victor. Walker the other way. Driving over the top of McCullough, lays it in. It's a really nice play from Jeremiah Walker with a tough defender in there in Hopkins. Canyons needs to pick it up on the defensive side though. Trailing 36-29. McCullough, a three is good. 4-3 in the ball game for Mount Sac. 4 of 9 from 3. Shooting well above what their season mark is. So they're usually one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the state. Right now find themselves with a 10-point lead. Harold stepped out of bounds as he was trying to save it. Isaiah Ortega checking back in with 1:14 to go. Ten-point lead for Mount Sac right now. So here's Dante Victor inside Hopkins. Orbach on him. The Cougars trying to double Hopkins. Now Victor again back to Hopkins. Canyons again will double him. Instead he got it to McCullough, who drives, and a blocking foul called against Baptista will send McCullough to the line. First for McCullough is good. McCullough, a 68% foul shooter. Second finds it as well. So 41-29 in favor of Mount Sac. The defense has been strong for the Mounties here in the first half. Canyons has played most of the half without Alfara and Barnett. Walker able to pick up the ball after it got knocked away from him. Now Baptista trying to work with Love right on him. Foul going to be called against Love. Mountie fans in attendance not happy with that call. So Baptista will go to the line to shoot a pair. First from Baptista was good. Second finds the mark as well. 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock here. Canyons in a press. Fisher able to break it after a pass ahead. Now McCullough. So it looks like Mount Sac might play for the last shot here, as there's just that 1 second difference. They'll spin it around. Love with an open look will take it, knock it down. 13-point advantage. That'll likely end the first half as Canyons taking their time getting the ball in. They need to just fire one up. Harold will take it and hit the top of the backboard. And that will end the first half. So 44-31, Mount Sac lead at the break. Take a time out here on the Cougar Sports Network. Second half action when we come back.
College of the Canyons is always ready when it comes to your athletic future. With 17 intercollegiate sports programs to cheer for, opportunities for student athletes to learn, train, and compete, and a championship mindset that has produced state and national titles, College of the Canyons and the Cougars athletics programs offer a great college experience. Take control of your athletic future at College of the Canyons. Visit canyons.edu/schedule and cocathletics.com now.
Jersey Mike's, watching them freshly slice your sub is the coolest thing you'll see. And the second coolest thing you'll see is this.
Woo! Here we go. Twirl. Up, big throw. Hand down. One hand, up. No. Flip. I could eat. Sliced right in front of you. The Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Meet Nigel Terry. In 2018, UCLA Health made him Laker for a day. Not because he beat cancer once, he beat cancer twice. He inspired us to push, to make the impossible possible. Because that's what Nigels do. And the world needs more Nigels. UCLA Health.
At College of the Canyons, we're always here to help make your future remarkable. Choosing classes is always flexible, so you can study your way. Learn at one of our 2 state-of-the-art campuses, or from home with our online options. Tuition is always affordable, with classes starting at just $46 per unit. We offer financial aid and 0 textbook cost classes to help you save. Always flexible, affordable, remarkable. Always College of the Canyons. Visit canyons.edu/schedule now.
Our sports medicine program here at College of the Canyons is meant to introduce students who are interested in some type of career in sports medicine. Most of my students are interested in careers as an athletic trainer, physical therapist, or orthopedic surgeon. So when they're done with our program, they will have their Associates of Science. Do you love sports? And do you take satisfaction from seeing someone go from injury all the way back to the sport that they love? Then this is a program you should definitely consider.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly slice your sub right in front of you, which takes some training.
Rising up, bread's on the sheet. Did my time, took out my toppings. Went the distance, now my prep is complete. Just a limb and its will to thrive. It's the arm of the slicer, it's the thrill of the slice. Freshly sliced before your eyes, unlike our rivals. And then every last arriver gets a sub that excites. And it's all thanks to the well-trained arm of the slicer.
Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
College of the Canyons is always ready when it comes to your athletic future. With 17 intercollegiate sports programs to cheer for, opportunities for student athletes to learn, train, and compete, and a championship mindset that has produced state and national titles, College of the Canyons and the Cougars athletics programs offer a great college experience. Take control of your athletic future at College of the Canyons. Visit canyons.edu/schedule and cocathletics.com now.
At Jersey Mike's, watching them freshly slice your sub is the coolest thing you'll see. And the second coolest thing you'll see is this.
Woo! Here we go. Twirl. Up, big, two. Hand down. One hand, up. Up. Flip. I could eat. Sliced right in front of you. The Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Meet Nigel Terry. In 2018, UCLA Health made him Laker for a day. Not because he beat cancer once, he beat cancer twice. He inspired us to push, to make the impossible possible. Because that's what Nigels do. And the world needs more Nigels. UCLA Health.
At College of the Canyons, we're always here to help make your future remarkable. Choosing classes is always flexible, so you can study your way. Learn at one of our 2 state-of-the-art campuses, or from home with our online options. Tuition is always affordable, with classes starting at just $46 per unit. We offer financial aid and 0 textbook cost classes to help you save. Always flexible, affordable, remarkable. Always College of the Canyons. Visit canyons.edu/schedule now.
Our sports medicine program here at College of the Canyons is meant to introduce students who are interested in some type of career in sports medicine. Most of my students are interested in careers as an athletic trainer, physical therapist, or orthopedic surgeon. So when they're done with our program, they will have their Associates of Science. Do you love sports? And do you take satisfaction from seeing someone go from injury all the way back to the sport that they love? Then this is a program you should definitely consider.
Welcome back into the Cougar Sports Network as we get ready for second half action. A 44-31 lead for Mount San Antonio College at the halftime break. The Mounties had it all working in the late portions of the first half. Trying to pick up what would be their 11th win of the season, as of course Mount Sac ranked in the top 25, right now at 14th in California. So a very, very good squad for Michael Finnison this year. It'll be Canyons basketball out of the timeout. They'll go with the starting 5 for College of the Canyons. Same for Mount San Antonio that started the ball game. Gomari tries to get it over to Gonzalez. Now to Gomari, a 3 from the top is good. Logan Gomari drains his second field goal of the ball game. His first 3 of the ball game. He's got 5, and it's back to a 10-point lead. It's a big shot for Canyons here early. They'll need to find some more of that as the Cougars 12 of 29 from the floor, 4 of 13 from 3, only 6 of 7 from the line. Mount Sac 15 of 27 from the floor, 5 of 10 from 3, and 9 of 12. As Cirillo back in the ball game gets a bucket. Cirillo missed most of the first half with 3 fouls. Mount Sac certainly happy to have him back in there. Barnett blocked. Cirillo tried to get it to Gardner, but it went through his hands. So it'll be Canyons basketball here. Here's Gonzalez back to work for COC. Alfaro will catch and give it to Orbach. Back to Gonzalez. Inside Alfaro, who was held pointless in the first half. Trying to work against Ejimeta. Sends it back to Gomari. Gomari trying to drive, put it off the window. Hopkins with the rebound. Good defense again to start from Mount Sac. Here's Ejimeta, and he's fouled by Barnett. It'll be the 3rd foul on Barnett. Nobody in double figures for either side. Hopkins with 9. Barnett with 8. Ejimeta able to fight away a rebound from Gomari and then got it back to Gardner, who's got a 3. Gardner now with 11 finds himself in double figures. And it's 49-34. It's a 15-point advantage. Gonzalez, nice play from Gonzalez to run around the defense that time and lay it in. He's got 6 now. The Mounties doing a good job keeping the Cougars at arm length right now. Hopkins holds it above his head, tried to feed it inside. Barnett got a hand on it. Gardner, a little heat check for him from deep, no. Hopkins the rebound, tried to draw the contact, got the bucket. Barnett is, or no, it's Orbach that's down and hurt. Hopkins gets another bucket, he's in double figures. Sarah Urson, longtime athletic trainer, in her final few days here at College of the Canyons, heading back to Texas. Out there checking on Roz Orbach, one of the very best, so he's in good hands. He looks like he's rolling around a little bit. So everybody will head to the bench for a moment. Looks like it's his left knee. So we'll step aside for a second here as Sarah checks on Roz. So we come back in, Orbach getting off under his own power. We'll head to the bench. That's good to see. Harold and Izenwa will check back in for Canyons. $15-point advantage here for Mount Sac. 51-36. Still lots of time left in the ballgame. If your Canyons got to get busy on the defensive end, find a way to stop the Mounties, who have done a good job defensively as they get a steal. Barnett has it taken away from him by Fisher, who missed on the layup. And Barnett back the other way. Ahead, Orbach drives baseline, throws it back out. Barnett straight away look for three, missed it. Rebound Alfara, put it off the glass, and that's the first basket for Jonah Alfara. Comes 16:41 into the second half. Ejimeta underneath, got it. Ejimeta so long, only averages 5.8 per game. Had 6 the other night. You would figure with his length, he would be even more effective on the offensive side. Does a good job defensively, though, and that's why he's in there. Guards the paint very well. Here's Gonzalez. Alfara spinning against Ejimeta, went up to the glass and had too much on it as Hopkins came up to help. Good help defense that time by Nick Hopkins. Turnover from Cirillo. McCullough in, Cirillo coming off. Harold drops it for Barnett. Barnett trying to drive, and he's fouled, trying to split a pair of defenders. Foul goes against Micah Gardner. Gardner was 15 today. 3 rebounds and a block. Just his second foul. Barnett. Elbow look for 2, no good. Back the other way comes Hopkins, and he Euro steps around Alfara for an easy bucket. Zenwa underneath, kicks it out. Harold, corner 3 on the way is good. Deshaun Harold with a 3. Harold now with 10 in the ballgame, the only Cougar in double figures. Gardner had it stripped. Zenwa takes it away. He's gonna run the break here. Zenwa goes up, lays it off the window, no good. Gardner back the other way, threw it through the middle, nearly turned it over. Instead, Fisher will get a 3, no good. Harold with the rebound. And they'll send it over to Gonzalez. Canyons, they want to get Alfara going. They haven't been able to today. He's a key cog in their offense. He's doubled here, tries to drive, finds an open Gonzalez for a bucket. Beautiful pass from Alfara off the double. Canyons with a 5-0 run has closed the lead back down to 12. Here's Fisher. Hopkins. Inside Gardner, but there was a foul away from the ball. Goes against Gonzalez. Love and Smith back in. Gardner and Fisher off. Here's Love. Now Hopkins. The Zenwa on him. Goes behind his back. Misses. Edgemeta couldn't hold the rebound cleanly. Harold comes away with it. 3-on-2 for Canyons. Barnett driving, trying to draw contact, didn't get it. Back the other way comes McCullough. 2 big steps in the lane and lays it in. Barnett back the other way for Canyons here. Steps into a 3, no good. Zenwa couldn't get the rebound. It'll be Mount Sac basketball. Barnett and Harold off the floor. Ortega and Gomari back in. 57-43. 14-point advantage for Mount Sac. They've kept it stretched out here so far in the second half. Here's Hopkins, skips it back out to Love. Hopkins is so tough to guard because he's listed as a guard, but he's got the body build of a power forward and does have a really good handles. Here's a Zenwa running the break. It's Hopkins, 6'5" guard out of San Bernardino. Three-pointer is good. Dante Victor knocks it down, so it's back to a 15-point lead right when Canyons thinks they've got something going. Mount Sac answers back and knocks him back down a little bit. Here's Elfara fouled, that time gonna be called against Jeremiah Smith. First foul on Smith sends Elfara to the line for the first time today. Baptista and Cirillo at the table getting ready. Elfara this year a 53% foul shooter. Makes the first. Gomari comes off. Baptista back in. Cirillo takes over as well. Elfara makes the second. Got to get some stops if you're Canyons at this point. Mount Sac's defense has done what they usually do. Canyons gets a takeaway as Hopkins loses it, but then chases down Gonzalez and he gets called for a foul. Thought he blocked it cleanly, but maybe got too much of the body. Now the official's going to discuss. So Gonzalez to the line here. Will have 1 from the line today. He'll get 2 shots. Makes the first. Gonzalez with 9 points now in the ball game. Second is good as well. So Gonzalez in double figures with 10. He and Harold leading the way for College of the Canyons. Gardner with 15, Hopkins and Victor with 11 for Mount Sac. 11-point Mount San Antonio lead here. Love drives. Good body control around Elfara, who couldn't draw the charge. To shoot here. Ortega travels. Barnett back in. Here's Victor with the basketball. Got it to Love. Over to Smith, who drives. Threw it back to Victor. Now back to Cirillo. A three is good. Three-point shooting night has been hot for Mount San Antonio. 8 of 14 in the ball game. That is the big difference right now. Shooting 54% from three, 61% from the floor. Their efficiency has been outstanding. Baptista draws a foul and will go to the line. Baptista to the line to shoot a pair, 55% foul shooter this year. First is good. Roz Orbach checks back in. Good to see him back out there. Takes over for a Zenwall. Second is good as well for Baptista. Lead is still 14, though. Cirillo send it to Hopkins near side. Love, bounce pass, Hopkins. Draws the contact against Barnett, scored in the foul. Fourth foul on Barnett. Well, the board says 4. Stat sheet says 3. Alfara will check in on a make. We'll get Baptista out. Barnett will stay in there with 4 fouls. Jeremiah Walker into the game as well. Ortega fouled by Love, who was all over him. Canyons turns it over on the inbound play. So 68-51. Mount Sac starting to run away a little bit again. Victor, elbow jumper, no good. Orbach the rebound. Dumps to Walker. Walker will bring it across the timeline. Walker wanting to drive. Instead, will kick it back to Ortega. Ortega had Barnett cutting. Throws it underneath Orbach. Got Victor in the air, but he'll go. There'll just be a foul on the floor, as they will not. They will say it is not. Well, they will give Orbach a shooting foul here. I didn't think he was going to get credit for an attempted shot, but he does. Orbach, 85% foul shooter this year. $17 fouls on Mount San Antonio, 13 on College of the Canyons. Orbach makes the first. CJ Fisher checking back in. Nick Hopkins gonna get a break. Howard Fisher wants a timeout. 9:49 to go. 68-52 in favor of Mount Sac here from Lease Mills Court at the Cougar Cage.
We're up to date records and information about CFP men's basketball.
So Orbach will go to the line as we come back in. 68-52 in favor of Mount Sac, finishing off his 2 foul shots, made the first. Orbach makes them both. Love inside, Fisher fouled. Fisher will go to the line, didn't get it to fall. Foul goes against Orbach. First foul on Orbach. Fisher made the first. Second is good as well. Mount Sac at 70 right now, leading by 17. Good hand by Dante Victor that time, as Ortega tried to throw it into the corner to Orbach. Here's Alfara, finishes at the basket. Just the 4th point for the 6th point for Alfara today. Only his 2nd field goal on his 4th attempt. He's only had 4 field goal attempts. Shows you how good Mount Sac has been inside defensively as Walker gets a steal and a lay-in. Lead down to 13. 55 to go. Got to chip away and get some stops if you're Canyons here. Travel going to be called against Jeremiah Smith. Ejimeta coming back in to take over for Smith. There's Barnett. Drops it, Orbach, 3 on the way is good. Roz Orbach finds a 3. 10-point game. Good pass inside. Good swing from Victor to Love that time. An easy bucket for Love. Barnett driving, got it to Ortega. Now to Walker. Barnett, far side 3 on the way, too strong. Fisher with inside position on Orbach has an easy rebound. Love, wild pass, good save from Victor. And Jametta got loose around Alfara and gets an easy bucket. It's just when Canyons gets back within 10. Now Sack stretches it back to 14 as Walker will go to the line. Walker back to the line. Second trip for Walker today. It's the 4th foul on Cirillo. Walker misses the first. Hopkins, Gardner, McCullough back in. Cirillo, Victor, and Love off the floor. Walker makes 1 of 2. Heavy pressure from Canyons, trying to get a trap here. McCullough, a nice shot. Alfara, a foul line jumper, doesn't fall. Rebound fell into the lap of Orbach, who tries to draw contact, no. Barnett, a tip, no. Second chance, no. And then it goes out off of Canyons. Here's Fisher now. Swings it inside to Jametta. Face-up jumper at Jametta is good. 17-point advantage once again. It was 10. Turnover on Canyons as Ortega stepped out of bounds. With 5:45 to go, if you're Canyons, you've got to desperately get stops and make baskets on the other side every time down if you want any shot to close the gap, trailing 17. So far, they haven't been able to do either. McCullough, nice pass. Hopkins, a good finish inside. Got both Orbach and Alfara in the air. Walker, a 3 that doesn't go. And the 14th ranked Mounties doing exactly what they need to do against non-conference opponents. And against non-ranked opponents, looking for their 11th win of the year. Here's Fisher driving. No good. Got his own rebound, put it back with the right hand. 21-point advantage for Mount San Antonio College, cruising right now. looking for the Cougar Holiday Classic Championship trophy. As Alfara, a little baby hook, he's been stymied today, just 6 points as Canyons gets a takeaway. Barnett behind his back missed on a layup. Barnett's been stymied as well. 3 of 16 for JT Barnett today. Alfara just 2 of 6. Actually, Barnett 3 of 17 today. That's just not going to get it done. Micah Gardner hurt. Foul on Alfara. McCullough wasn't happy with it. Fans having words. Canyons will go wholesale changes here. Here's McCullough. Dumps it inside. Ejimeta has it stripped by Harold, and then Harold is fouled by Ejimeta. Harold back to the line. Harold with 10 points today. One off his season high, his career high of 11. Makes these 2, and he's set career highs in back-to-back games. Of course, the broadcaster jinx in full effect. He misses. And a foul on Gomari with 3:42 to go. McCullough sprinting it ahead. Travel going to be called. Thought he was fouled. Now Jeremiah Smith going into the game. Takes over for Micah Gardner here. And Gomari loses the ball. It goes out of bounds. Dante Victor coming back in, takes over for Hopkins. Hopkins, 16 points, 5 rebounds in the ball game. 11th straight contest for him with 10 or more points. Likely the all-tournament player for Mount Sac because he had 27 in the win last night. Fisher. Offensive foul on Ejimeta as Fisher threw it down. Ejimeta called for a moving screen. So no basket that time from Fisher. He elevated nicely, but unfortunately Ejimeta was moving in the middle of the floor and ran into a Cougar. Here's Gonzalez, little 15-footer no good. Ejimeta an easy board. 2:50 to go in a 21-point game. Mounties trying to put an exclamation point on this one. Victor Ejimeta missed but fouled by Azenwa and will go to the line.
Janetta to the line shooting 2.
First trip to the line of the day for Edgemetto is a 62% foul shooter. Fisher checks out. And we'll see Joel Gatto for the first time this tournament. Second no good for Edgemetto. A rebound pulled down by Gomari. 2.5 to go. Now, Sack going to win the 2023 Cougar Holiday Classic, barring a miracle comeback from College of the Canyons right now. Harold wanted to shoot, didn't. Instead, he got it to Baptista, who takes a 3 that doesn't fall. Ball loose on the floor. And it'll be Mount Sac basketball on a timeout called by John McCullough with 2:11 to go. .211 to go. Mounties with an 83-61 advantage. Quick look at other scores from around the state. Chaffee a 103-84 win over Santa Barbara. Ventura leading Riverside 64-63 on the road with 5:38 to go. Santa Ana and Victor Valley going to overtime tied at 76. None of the other games have either posted scores or started yet. Lane violation on Godot. Victor nearly gets a steal. Baptista's got the ball back. Instead, throws it to Harold. Wing 3 on the way for Deshaun. Harold, no. A Zenoir rebound, gets it back. Baptista, a 3 is good. Isaiah Baptista is his first 3 of the ball game. He's got 7 points. A little too late, though, as it's still a 19-point advantage. Victor going to the basket. No, and the block going to be called against Gomari. Victor misses. Didn't make either of the foul shots. Zenoir under the basket on a good feed from Baptista. The Cougars getting some points in garbage time here. Zemetra into the game for the first time today as well. He turns it over. Gonzalez back the other way. Gomari fouled. Harold puts up a 3 that does not count. Foul on McCullough. Gomari to the line. So Gonzalez and Harold with 10. Hopkins finishes with 16 and 5. Gardner with 15 and 6. Fisher with 12 and 5. Victor with 11. Well, Victor's still in the game, so he could add more, but 52.1 to go. For Mount Sac, they'll improve to 11 and 1 on the year. The Cougars will fall to 6 and 7 on the season. And for College of the Canyons, they'll have a 3-game winning streak snapped. McCullough to the line for a pair of foul shots here. 2 for 2 from the line today. Broadcaster jinx works again. Never fails every single time, whether you want it to or not. Makes the second. So McCullough in double figures with 10 points now. Baptista, 25 to go, driving. I'm surprised they didn't call it travel, but maybe they want the clock to keep going. Canyons turns it over those. Gomari couldn't get it inside cleanly to Izenwa. And Mount Sac can dribble out the final 17 seconds and take home the 2023 Cougar Holiday Classic Trophy. As they go to 11 and 1 on the year, the 14th ranked Mounties pick up yet another victory, this time on the road, 84-67 over College of the Canyons. Here from Lee Smelser Court at the Cougar cage as Michael Fenneson and Howard Fisher, longtime compadres on the COC bench, have a nice hug as Mount Sac takes the win. College of the Canyons 84-67. We thank you for joining us here this week for the Cougar Holiday Classic. And we have one more game left in 2023, 5:30 start time. Palomar, the number 5 ranked team in the state in women's basketball, in town to take on the Lady Cougars. Here on the Cougar Sports Network. We hope you join us for that one. Have a good night, everybody, and Happy New Year.